Okay. I'm sorry if you messaged me, guys, and a few of you messaged me. I did not answer. I'm sorry about that. But we are here now. So we had done questions. Let me see. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. So we're moving on to number 6. Yes.
Yes, Miss, yes.
Okay, because I feel like I'm talking to myself right now.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, good. So, let's see. Here we have this one, even though it's a quadrilateral, and we're gonna look at it, it's a cyclic, that's what we call it, when you have a four-sided shape in a circle, but we also have the triangles in the half circle. Does everybody see that? Can you guys see that?
Yes, Miss.
Good.
Yes, Miss.
So now what we want to do here is that we want to find the value of x and we want to find the value of y. So what we're gonna do first is that we want to find the value of x first, right? Or y, whichever one you want to do first, but we're gonna work with x first, right? So I want to solve for the value of x. Now, for me to be able to solve for the value of x, I can go ahead and I can just look at the top half of the circle where you have x 28 and then the angle at the top. So we're only going to be looking at that right now. Now, what were we talking about yesterday about an angle in a right angle that could give us more information about this question?
The 90 degrees. It will all measure up to 90 degrees.
So, very good. The angle in a semicircle is equal to 90 degrees. So that is the first thing that I'm going to be writing. So I'm going to have an angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. Fine? Now, based on that information, then I can have 90 degrees plus the 28 degrees, right? So that then whatever that gives me, I can subtract it from the 180. All right. So what is 90 plus 28?
118.
118. Very good. And if I were to subtract that from 180, what would I get?
62, Miss.
118. You would get 62. Very good. And then I would write my reason. I would write the angles in a triangle sum up to 180 degrees. Yes? Any questions?
No, Miss.
So this is for x, right? Now what I want to do is that we want to solve for y now. And basically, I'm just going to follow the same procedures because basically it is the same thing, all right? Are you guys hearing that noise in the background as well? Or is it just me?
No, Miss.
No? Okay, then it's just on my end. So we're gonna look for y, and I'm basically gonna do the same thing. So we're only gonna be looking at the bottom half of the circle, all right? And the bottom half of the circle talks about y. It has 44, and then it also has an angle in a right angle. So my reason is gonna stay the same, but I am going to change that 90 degrees. I'm gonna add it to 44, and what would that give you?
134.
124. Okay. And if I were to subtract 124 from 180, what would that give you?
Miss, Miss, 1. 130.
For 90 plus 44 should be 134. And then 180 minus
Yes.
134 should be
Six.
Send it in the chat, guys, because I think it's the internet
46.
here at school. So I can't hear you guys. So 40, 46. And then my reason would be the same. The angles in a triangle sum up to 180. Okay, very good. Yep, I think it's my internet because I opened the chat and the chat is blank. But I saw messages come in. Okay, can I move on? So both of these, right? This is
Yes.
for the first part of question F, and this is for the second part of question F. So then those two things have to happen, right? Because you're looking for 2 and degrees. So now looking at question G, right here. So I'm gonna be doing the same thing, right? We have to look for X, and then we're gonna look for Y. So let me add a text box. And I am looking for X. And then now what I'm going to be doing is that I am going to identify the angle in this triangle. And we're looking at the top triangle, right? The one that has X 31 and then the other missing angle. But based on theorem number 3, I know that that angle in that semicircle equals to 90 degrees. So I can go ahead and write that. The angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees, right? Now, once I have that information, I go ahead and I repeat the same procedure. 90 plus the other angle, which is 31. How much is that equal to?
121.
121.
121. Very good. And then to find the other angle that is missing, I'm going to have 180 minus 121. And what would that give you?
59.
59. Very good. And then I write my reason. The angles in a triangle are equal to 180 degrees. Yes? But this is for X only, right? We still have to find Y. Any questions? I move on.
No, miss.
Move on to
Yes.
Y. Yes? Okay. So now moving on to finding Y. Let me duplicate this one. In this case, we want to find Y. Y is equal to, I don't know, because that is what we're looking for. But take a look at the triangle that is formed in the semicircle that has Y missing. What do you notice about that triangle? Or with the lines that form that triangle?
It has 2 equal sides.
It has 2 equal sides. Very good. Now, because it has 2 equal sides, then I know that the Y and the other one right here are gonna be equal to each other, right?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes, yes.
So, what is the first thing that I do?
Find the degrees of the angle. 90 degrees, miss.
The 90 degrees, very good. So, I am going to say the angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. right? The angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. Okay, then what am I gonna do?
90 plus 90?
Why 90 plus 90?
No, miss, it's 180 minus 90.
Very good, Sitlale. 180 minus 90. Now, why do I do that? Because I know that there is a 90 degrees, but the other two are equal to each other. So if I were to take the 180 of the entire triangle and I subtract the 90 degrees that I already know, whatever is left is supposed to be the sum of the other two. So I am going to write here 180 minus 90. And what does that give you?
90.
90. Very good. And my reason? A triangle sums up to 180 degrees. Right? Then what do I do now? I know that the 90 is equal to the other two, but how do I find the magnitude of only one?
90 divided by 2.
90 divided by 2. Very good. So I'm going to have 90 divided by 2. And what does that give you?
45. 45.
45. Very good. And then a triangle. Okay, so then now that means that y is equal to 45 and the other one is equal to 45. So what would my reason be that y is equal to 45? What would be your reason?
Because the triangle is an isosceles triangle.
Very good. Very good. You're gonna say the triangle form is an isosceles triangle. And there you go. Any questions?
No, miss. No.
Okay. Okay, good. Next one. Yes? One second, guys. Okay. So this one is quite different than the other ones. If you realize, we no longer have theorem number 3. This is something else. All right? We don't have the right angle in this triangle. Nowhere do we see that.
Go back to the next one.
If I can go back?
Miss, I just need to screenshot it.
Okay. Okay, no problem. There you go. Do you guys have another class after this?
Don't miss, finish, miss. Yes, Bible. Yes, yeah, miss Bible.
You have Bible? Okay.
Finish, miss.
Okay, good. So we have 2 more questions. I think we can finish them quite quickly. Don't take long to do them. So this one, I'm gonna explain very quickly. You take a look at this one. You have a chord and you have 2 radius. Does everybody see that? The lines that connect from the center to the circumference are the radii. You have 2 radii. So what does that mean? That the first radii and the second radius are equal. They're the same thing because the radius is gonna be the same distance in that circle. So what does that indicate to me? That x over here is gonna be the same thing as the value on the other side, because this radius and this radius, these 2 radii are equal to each other, so the angles are also gonna be equal to each other. All right, everybody understood that?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so how am I going to write my reason? And this is the tricky part, right? And you can write your reason in different ways once we are talking about the same thing. The two radii, and radii is plural for radius. If you were wondering why I was saying radii and you didn't know, the two radii and the chord form an isosceles triangle. That is one. But also, I know that a triangle sums up to 180 degrees. So these are my two reasons that I'm going to have. Because for my working, I'm going to do the same thing that I did here. I'm going to subtract from 180 and then I'm going to divide by 2. In this case, I am going to subtract 180 minus 104. You have to use you have to use the two reasons. Yes, you have to use the two reasons. The first reason the triangle sums up to 180 is because I'm going to do 180 minus 104. That is the first thing. And then, what would this give you before I go to the other one? 180 minus 104. 76. And then the two radii and the chord form an isosceles triangle. That is where I am going to take the 76 and I'm going to divide it by 2. And what would that give you?
38. 38.
38, very good. And then this would be your answer. And then those would be the two reasons. The first reason would be because I'm using 180 degrees. And the second reason because it forms an isosceles triangle. So that's why I'm dividing it by 2. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, miss.
Can I move on? Still writing?
Yes, miss. Move on.
Ooh, very quickly because it's 11:30. This one is gonna be the exact same thing. So let me just copy it. The exact same thing I'm gonna do very quickly. What is 180 minus 98?
82, miss.
82. And then 82 divided by 2 gives you 41, right? Yes?
Yes, miss.
Okay, then that will be it, guys. Have a great rest of the day.
Miss, could you explain in the activity 1?
Ooh, the activity 1, I already explained that on Monday. The activity 1, you need to research. Those of you that you guys can leave only if you need explanation for activity 1. You can stay. I'm gonna explain it in 2 minutes. All right, bye, guys. Bye. Let me explain it. Um, sorry, Derek, I didn't understand.
I didn't finish the PowerPoint.
Let me share. Let me share, and then I explain. Let me share. Okay, there you go. So then activity 1, where is Andre? Andre, for activity 1, it talks about the father of trigonometry, and then it talks about tails, sorry. You're only going to choose one. You have to research on either the father of trigonometry or you research on tails. So you choose whichever one you want. That activity is a little bit more biblical because you want to differentiate between idols. We're talking about idolatry discerners. So I give you 3 things that are characteristics of an idol. And you are just going to tell me based on what you have read about tails or on the father of trigonometry if he has those 3 things. If he doesn't have it, then you're gonna say, okay, well he isn't. Let me use the words that are in the activity. It says an idol is always made out of something good and legitimate. So the father of trigonometry, was he somebody that was good? Did he do trigonometry for the good of people? Did he do something legitimate? Yes or no? And then you tell me, yes, he was legitimate, and yes, he did trigonometry for good reasons, right? You can use the same setup of what I'm asking you to find, but you only have to tell me yes or no. And then the other one says, an idol usurps God's place by claiming to have ultimate status. Does the father of trigonometry, or does Thales at some point say that, okay, we call the father of trigonometry that? That is his name. Just like, we call George Price the father of the nation. Does or did that person say, I am the father of trigonometry and you guys have to praise me because of that, right? Did he do that? Yes or no? And then the last one says, an idol an idol steals our own place in the world as image of God. Do we have to explain the answers? No. You only have to tell me yes or no. Try to make it at least 4 sentences. If you can put a picture of him, you can do it. You can type it. Put a picture of the father of trigonometry. Your 4 sentences at the bottom, and then that is fine. You guys are gonna get the grade, right? Does that clear it up? Is that clear to everyone?
Just yes or no, miss. 4 sentences.
Of course.
But todo, miss.
Of course. So you're gonna say yes, he observes, or no, he observes it. The exact same thing that I say there, but yes or no for that specific person.
Means so then it's like just answering the questions but in a paragraph.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
Yes, you don't have to do a lot of research. You read the basic thing that comes out on Google, that should help you. Yes?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Yes, Imran.
Miss, will you be posting the recordings because I missed last 2 minutes?
Yes, I'll be doing that right now. I'm just gonna have it upload to YouTube and then I'm posting it.
Okay, miss, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Bye, guys. Bye. I know you're late for class. Bye.